was came to be known to be associated indirectly with the Chushul and Hanle, which is very close to Ladakh, and hence it was WWF India which finally funded the whole expedition. Not just ecological territories, but also now this is a biodiversity heritage library, internet archives. These are public to use, not just use, but also verify the research that you have done. And a part of the research, including the community, you also should be first photo that I showed you from TNA Perumal. And I believe I am that bird which is
one part of it very well, but there's another part of it which is also on somewhere else. So who have all those notebooks, who have got material which will enhance. So please tell the audience of how you go about.
through Abhijit. Abhijit was at NCBS. He was a Samiti. N. Bardisha sir put us in touch with Pandurang Hegde. We got materials made possible through deeds of gift, which is a document, a contract, which says we become the custodians, but you still have the authority to take it back if you want to. Yeah. So.
Questions?
Okay.
One second.
Parvati, great talk. You mentioned that Ghazala did a study looking at all the field notes. Do you know of any other facilities that have repositories of such rich? For example, in Kerala, you have pioneers in bird watching who have kept meticulous notes, not just photographs. There is behavior of birds and so much information on life history traits of birds and other taxa as well. So do you is there a particular time frame which your institute is sensitive to in bringing materials ecology related? Or is it or as the network builds, is the archives always open to materials whoever decides to give it? And do you know of others other than Ghazala working on the field notes that are already there and trying to bring together the rich source of information right there?
Nisha Bhakat, who's also working with us, is trying to digitize material from the Bengal Natural History Society, the journals of the Bengal Natural History Society, through a grant which we have initiated, which is called the PAST grant. This is basically re-grant from the archives to other smaller archives to digitize their collections, which will be stored on our catalog. So every 3 years, this grant is initiated so that people from everywhere, if they think that they have collections that come under the boundary of history of science, because our center is a public collecting center for the history of science in contemporary India, which is mostly 1900s to the present. So if you think you have material that comes under that boundary, you can write to us, or when the grant gets initiated, you can write a grant proposal asking for grants to digitize the collection. But also, if people here are interested to donate to the archives, you can write to us at archives@ncbs.res.in. We are always interested in collections. It's just that every year we have a mandate of what kind of collections we get in. So this year the mandate is space sciences. The last year it was underrepresented communities. Before that it was ecology, environmental conservation, which is why we have a lot of material from around India on environmental conservation.
Is there also like a, sorry, one second. Is there also like a mechanism where how you verify what is, being given to you, or like how when you collect it?
So we have an appraisal process. Appraisal process is basically deciding what goes into the archive, holds archival value, holds historical value, and what doesn't go into the archive. That is what is the boundary criteria. Once we get material, there is usually appraisal at source, where we go to the person who's donating the material and see what kind of material exists. We don't usually take in published material because it's already openly available. Most of what we take is unpublished data, like I showed, letter, correspondence, maps, field notes, research notes, photographic material, which helps understand the story of what goes on behind and not what is put outside.
Yeah, so I have a few questions. First one is, if I were to make like a paper on, let's say, the population of birds over the years, 2 years in the future maybe, like and I think I could get useful data from the archives in particular. Firstly, how exactly would I like get access to the data I would need? And secondly, if I did get the data and I was going to publish my paper, how exactly do I credit the archives? Like, do I credit the person who gave the original data? Do I credit the archives itself or something else?
That's a very interesting question. So, uh, we have a website which we make all the material that is archived public, mostly everything, unless it's sensitive, the content is sensitive. So this is the website archives at ncbs archives.ncbs.res.in. If you go to the catalog, you can search whatever you want to look for. You can search in the search bar and you would find all content related to it in the catalog. And once you have identified things that you would want to use, then you would have to contact us to say these are the materials that I'm using from the archives, and then we would respond to you with a material request, material use form. Here, what needs to be understood is open access is different from open use. We are an open access archive, but not an open use archive. So, the content you are planning to use, you will have to identify the copyright holder for the content. So, if it's field notes, the copyright is mostly lies with the person who wrote the field notes, and the person who wrote the field notes would have transferred the license to republish to us. So we can give you the permission or give you the license to use the data. But if it's third party data, that is, if it doesn't belong to the person who has donated the material to us, then we don't have the permission. So you will have to seek the permission of the person who had written the material, who had produced the material. Yeah. Yes.
That means it couldn't be used for writing as a reference.
It can be used. It can definitely be used. The only point is that you will have to gain permission from the copyright holder. Any publication would ask you if you have taken permission from the copyright holder before publishing any kind of data which is third party.
Work as an intermediate for that.
Uh, so we don't work as an intermediate. We just try to make accessible all this content, and then if we have the permission, we give the permission, but if we don't have the permission, we can't, right? So yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Actually, a few years back, NCBS had interviewed me, and I think that whole conversation is available for people to listen to. I was basically talking about my journey through the years about ornithology and how things were in those days, how birdwatching has changed, and what is the present condition. So somebody asked me whether I could give the data and whether I can give the interview, and it went on for I think 1.5 hours or 2 hours. We thought it would be a short thing. I think now they have archived it and it's available online. Similarly, I think people like Ashish Pitti and other people, their field notes are available. And this is a great resource because you also get to know how people in the past had worked. Currently, we generally use things like eBird to note down the information. And in our hurry to finish the list, we forget to write so many other extra details. Like she was talking about how that notes had so many other implication, like you can look at so many other issues which were not there, like Ravi Shankar's notes. So I think those are things which are getting missed because we are always in a great hurry to complete the checklist before it is goes out of our mind because we are doing it in the field. But I think we can go back to it and add information if it's possible. Otherwise, note down, and then this information can be taken. In fact, I think NCBS also has asked me whether I can part with my notebooks. I have not yet given them. I said I'm still using them. Yeah. Apart from this, I think you have mentioned so many things of data, but I think there's one more very important data which we probably don't have in India, but other countries have started realizing the importance. This is the recording of the soundscapes. Now people have started using soundscapes, which is basically a collection of natural sounds in an environment. And this information uh, historical information especially can tell you which species are present and which species are absent over a period of time. So people have done this short term also, like the natural forest, what the soundscape is like, and after the forest fire, what it sounds like, or before a development and after a development. So this kind of information is very important because our ears may be able to record some of the species, but some we may miss out. But the record that is there in the audio tape is something which is conclusive. So you can use that for documenting things. And so people have been now documenting various landscapes and trying to find out how bird life is changing over a period of time, or how insect life is changing over a period of time. So I think these are very, very important things, and I think we need to do this before it's lost, because in India I think we don't have this habit of archiving things, and we don't value it much. But I think this is a very important resource, because future generations, when they want to know what it was like in those days, I think this kind of information will come in very handy. Thank you. Thank you for the nice presentation.
Thank you. Also, I would like to thank Anjali, Nisha, who has helped me with an initial draft of this presentation, and also Akais at NCBS. Also, if you have anything to ask, please contact us. Thank you.
So shall we start the... Sashi Kumar is not yet.